Hi. Hi. Back on the old YouTube. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be streaming again. Let's make sure that I've muted. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, it's nice to be back. Um, yeah, audio's on. I think I've done it correctly. Everything's set up. When you miss a week or two, you forget how to do it. I think I've done everything. Pleased to be here streaming. Okay, so the title, Hypnotized by Thought. Measure. Hypnotized into thought. Hypnotized into thought is the title. That's somebody into the just so people know, if you do join the Zoom, just be aware that you are gonna if your camera's on, then you're gonna be on the YouTube recording. So you're welcome to join the Zoom but have your camera off, but you're welcome to have it on as well. It's up to you. But just so you're aware, if your camera's on, then you're gonna be on the YouTube recording. I'll just pin my video. Might make it a bit more. Which one is it again? Is it speaker? No. Is it multi-speaker? No. Is it immersive? What's that one? No. Gallery, maybe. Gallery. Yeah, so welcome to the stream. You're new to this subject, which I'm pretty sure you're not. if you're new to this subject and you've just caught this video, then yeah, yeah, it's a very strange subject. Yeah, we've come to a very strange, very odd subject if you're new to the subject. And the title of this talk is Hypnotized into Thought. So I'll just do the introduction and then I'll open for any questions, any Q&A, and you can ask questions through the chat box on YouTube, or you can join the Zoom and either speak or write questions in Zoom. So, so what a joy this message communication is. What a joy to speak about this subject. What a joy that this possibility to be free, this possibility to be free, this possibility of not being bound to thought, that there is existence that isn't tied to, bound to thinking. I mean, what a blessing, what a gratitude, what a beautiful mystery, beautiful, what a beautiful opportunity. I don't know what word is to use it. I remember not wanting to have kids because of the suffering that I felt. Like, why would I have a kid and put a kid through that suffering? But the potential and possibility of this freedom is what makes it okay. Like if that wasn't there, that would be really cruel, and it would be hell and just cruelty. But there's this possibility of freedom, this possibility of not being bound to that identification as someone, as a person, and therefore suffering. It's like the the diamond in the rough, maybe, or uh, the the gold nuggets in the treasure chest or something, or that Greek mythology where they're looking for the, oh, what's the word? Look, they're looking for the that forever life. We're looking for the, what the term now that they use, but that Roman guy was looking for it. Oh God, my history has just got out of my head. That Roman guy, Constantine, was looking for, oh, the Holy Grail. That's it. The Holy Grail. Yeah. Yeah, looking for that nugget, that freedom. What is it? That beauty. If that wasn't there, then it would be a cruelty. If it was just suffering, that would be a cruelty. That would be like self-abuse. The creator's like abusing himself. Like, why would you do that? So that's how I feel about non-duality. So the title, Hypnotized into Thought. So there is this freedom, there is this not a thing, could call it emptiness, stillness, pure consciousness, this not a thing, this emptiness. People call it different things. It doesn't matter. But there is this freedom, let's call it, which isn't a thing, not a thing, not an object, nothing, not a thing. And I don't know when this happens, but at some point, it's simply looking, it's simply looking through the human. It starts to look through the human form, innocently looking through the human form. This magic. I do recall being in Swansea, so I was about two, I'm guessing, and this magic looking out, this magic, not looking out only, but everywhere, this magic, this mystery and this magic. And then at some point, it stops being so much like that. It becomes more narrow and like it becomes more limited to the body. Becomes more, yeah, like it separates into a limitation. That's the way it feels. And these thoughts and stories become more and more important and more real and more true. So these thoughts of what's happening, of who you are, who the other is, what the world is, these thoughts become more strong and more like believed in and more required to believing them. Like the expectation is to start to believe them and to relate from them and live from them. And it becomes stronger and stronger. This like internal reality, this internal narrative. And what waking up seems to be in my experience, the way that I speak about it, the way I've experienced it, is this is this remembering, this being pointed back to something. So this remembering of something that's here, that is prior to all those ideas and thoughts and narratives of yourself, of the other, of the world, just pointing back to something that isn't that movement, isn't those thoughts. And so it's like a waking up of that, a remembering of that. And the destruction of this narrative of you, this narrative of this personal someone's personal person who's been living, seemingly living this undoing, this deconstruction that happens of that, while this remembering of something that isn't that, isn't a person, isn't a thought, isn't a narrative. So it's kind of like a corrective thing that's happening. And it isn't like thought is the enemy or the baddie or something, and we're trying to blame thought or get rid of thought or, aggress against thought. That can sometimes be the way it's interpreted. That thought is bad and it's the baddie, and we're trying to annihilate thought. That's not true at all. That's the mind interpretation. The mind splits good and bad. So we aren't trying to see thought in a negative way or anything. That's more mental drama, more mind activity. So it isn't that. What is being said is that thought isn't true. It isn't the reality we've been hypnotized to believe it is. It isn't the truth. It isn't who we are. It isn't a fixed true reality. It's thoughts innocently appearing, innocently speaking. It isn't a battle, one thought against the other thought. It's a recognition, it's a waking up to what we are, to what is, which isn't someone, it isn't a person. And this is freedom. You only can imagine freedom being freedom for a person or happiness for a person being free, a person being happy. That's the only way the mind can imagine it as a personal thing for a person, for an individual. But that is the dream, that is the bondage, the suffering. This belief, this hypnotism into the idea of separation, separate people, separate person, separateness. So you're welcome to ask anything about that. Oh, I can't see the chat box. Hi, hi, Andrea. Hi, Kelly. Would you say that it's possible to get addicted to non-duality content? Would you say that it's possible to get addicted to non-duality content? Yeah, yeah. Addicted to anything, can't you, really? Addicted to food, addicted to definitely internet media. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I used to watch it like all most of the day. I'd be watching non-duality talks. Yeah, because when I listened to it, it was just like it was just like gets you out of the being solely identified to the head, to the mind, to the thinking activity. So it's such a like yeah. So yeah, very addictive because it's talking about freedom. It's what's that word? Not not elevating, alleviating. It's alleviating that tightness to the mind, that contraction. So when you hear a speaker speaking about outside of mind, outside of time, right here, not past and future, but what is happening, it's like a break from that addiction to the mind, from that attachment to you and your story and you and the world and you and you and you. So of course, it's an addiction, but I don't think it has no negative effects. Like, how if you're addicted to food or alcohol or drugs, there's clearly negative effects to it. I can't think of negative effects to being addicted to non-duality. Maybe things like you're not going to be as interested in going to the pub or something, or I don't know. think the only maybe painful part of that is if you're listening to it and the mind is quite strong and the suffering is quite strong, that can be painful because you're wanting to get out of this and desperately trying to get out of this, and maybe when the mind's heard this enough times, it's the concepts aren't maybe doing it this so much, isn't giving you that high so much, and so it can be painful. You can't get out of it into concepts. But what a thing to keep hearing. What a thing to keep hearing. That what you long for is right here. Thank you, Andrea. Anybody else want to ask anything? Guy, Guyana. This message is including the bu- busy, maybe? Me- This message is including the busy mind. This message, if you can call it a method, not to call it this message. This speaking, this subject is talking about everything. So it really is whole. It's talking about everything. Nothing can be not included. It's talking about everything. Whatever the mind can imagine, think of, experience. This is talking about every single thing, everything. It's saying that every single thing is not actually single, it's not actually separate, it's everything. Nothing is separate, nothing is divided up, nothing is therefore rejected. It's talking about everything. That what we generally see as things, what we generally see as separate things, is only from the perspective of the mind. The mind's ability to separate things off, isolate things, give things qualities, names. We're saying that that is a part of the human experience. We have this brain, this mind that's able to quantify, qualify, name, separate, divide, isolate. That's the function of the mind, of the brain. And it's not reality. It's so identified to the brain, to the mind, and how that functions. We've begun to imagine we are something in that, we are separate in that. We've become a separate thing. We've created this illusion of separateness and believe that we are also in that, we are separate in that. And so, yeah, what is being spoken about is this total inclusion, this total everything, where there can't be division, there can't be separation, only in mind, in language. So I can say door, room, right hand, left hand. there can be separation in that sense of labeling, of describing. But we're talking about beyond the mind's limitation, like putting the thoughts aside, if you like, and there's just this, there's just wholeness, there's just what is. It's a great tool, the mind. It's great, it's amazing. That ability. But it is suffering when it's become all we know, when the spoils or the effects of that have become so entrenched in how society is set up based upon that, based upon separation, based upon the mind's imaginings and projections. That's the way humans have been now conditioned to operate, through the projection of separation, projection of mind. And so, yeah, this message is not coming from that reality, that realm of things, that realm of mind. So, of course, it's about everything. This and mind, of course, is included, thoughts are included in this. Everything is, but it's not living through mind. Mind is not on the throne because it never really has been. It's been acting as if it is on the throne, driving the dream bus. It's in control, it's the one who knows, but it's not true. And so we're simply going back, if you like, to the obvious, going back to the simplicity, going back to the primary sorry, I've got hair in my direct experience, not something learned and something that's effortful, that takes time, that it's the simple, direct, primary reality or what is. It's like humanity's gone so far into the mind, so far into detail, so far into all the corners of the mind that's lost, seemingly lost what is just naturally here. It doesn't require that amount of effort and yeah, and that's what's been overlooked, what's been lost in humanity. They get more and more hypnotized and conditioned into the dream of thinking, of the program. It's simply of remembering. It's simply a going back to that, going back to that naked, innocent child, that naturalness. Thank you for that question. Beautiful. Oh, excuse me.
Hi, Kelly.
I understand.
I was thinking, does it always need to be some crisis or suffering before you wake up? How do you see that?
No, it doesn't need to be anything. That there really can't be any set rules in how it needs to be because I mean look at the universe. I mean it's like there is no like set rules, there's no control. Like the mind has set rules and set ideas, but
Oh,
and you can like create maybe a pattern and see, oh, this is common, but there's no set, this is the way it is, this is the way it has to be.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
I mean, what you're saying in another way is, does there have to be, does something have to happen for this to be the way it is? I mean, this is the way it is. This is already the way it is. Does something need to be happening for this to be happening? Like,
Yeah. I understand what you say. But anyway, as you say, there's suffering to be a person, and I don't know when you try to, what do you say? Yeah, you meditate and you try to do something that it's became it can become an internal fight for it, you say. Um, I've been meditating for a long time before I come in contact with this you call non-duality. Um, but yeah, this is more like freedom, as you talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Since then, I have let go of many things
Yeah.
before I believe. I have many beliefs before, but now they are like gone.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no conflict in it. But anyway, there's some tension. So yeah, I don't, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't really know how to get. I don't know how to say it beyond this person. Even if I sit and close my eyes and focus, I don't focus. I try to just kind of, yeah, just be. But there is this tension inside. So I wouldn't call it suffering, but I guess from your perspective, it's to be a person, it's suffering. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a question there. I don't. I
Yeah.
just talking. But I think all this is amazing that you're talking about. It's so liberating. You don't have to. Usually, all spirituality is very so much you have to do, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It is very liberating hearing non-duality. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's extremely liberating to not be seen as a person. When the whole world is telling you you are someone, you are a person, you're a good person, you're a bad person. an unholy person. You aren't good enough. You're guilty, responsible. You've done well, you've done poorly, and the whole world is telling you that. To come across this message that is speaking of non-division, not two. There is no separation. There isn't anyone separate. This is whole. This is freedom. This is complete. It's extremely liberating, extremely freeing, it's extremely healing. It's extremely loving. Thank you, Anders, for your speaking. Okay, so we end it there. Thank you for joining the stream. Lots of love. Bye.